Alright guys, this is important.
So this is the first of a couple of our journals of basically the process that we went from the very beginning to wanting to get an Airstream. And this is kind of how we played out and transitioned to the Airstream versus what we originally thought we wanted, which was an RV. So I apologize for the background tire noise in this. This was before we realized that the tire noises were making a lot of noise in the background, so we stopped filming that way. But also it's just kind of a quick journey in that. And this is just the process. This is how it went for us and what we learned along the way. The footage gets a little bit better in each of the videos. As I mentioned, this was last year in the fall, so we've learned a lot about what looks better and what doesn't work better. And the filming at the dealerships, a lot of times we did want to be taken seriously, so we didn't want to run around just acting like we were, there to film and just mess around. So we don't have footage of just about everything, but I'll try and make the storyline as best as possible. But this is the first one of the journal that we did throughout the process.
So this is our first time to go look at anything, and we were interested in Class A's. This is whenever I fell in love with the Winnebago, the 35F.
Something like that. She originally wanted a bunk model. So anyways,
yeah.
Here you guys go. Here's some thoughts that we had and how we ended up where we were. And where we thought we wanted to go with this journey. So it's kind of fun to watch the transition.
We were convinced we wanted a Class A. So here y'all go. See how it transitions into what we currently want.
Yep. So
present day.
Yeah, and if you missed what we're presently thinking about doing, I'll post the video above. But this is the first of probably like a half a dozen that we did over the process. There you guys go. Jeez, you're just going to be yawning this whole video.
It's like 7 o'clock. I got my wine. I got Zelda, and then he's like, hey, do you want to film?
All right.
Sure, but I'm not moving.
Okay, all right, we're going into it now. There we go. Good morning, guys. We're actually filming this. Well, she's holding some chicken minis. We're filming this in a preemptiveness. We're not going to post this for a while. It's actually August.
It is August 5th.
2017. So we're filming this now in preparation for posting it in the far future. So when you're watching this, it'll be probably a long time from now.
Like a year, probably about a year from now.
Maybe, we'll see. It's more of a journal, I guess you could call it. So anyways, we are on our way to an RV place, which is kind of interesting. I guess not, because a lot of this generation is doing stuff like this, living out of their vehicles, living out of RVs, and traveling more. So it's actually pretty common now, I think. But in effort to not only we're not doing this for the channel, we're doing this for us. But we just got back from our Moab trip, and it kind of really opened our eyes to a lot of things, which was the goal of the trip, to just kind of go out there, have fun, be outdoors, and just do a bunch of stuff, and just kind of get a better understanding of what we want as a couple. And so what we've decided to do is, we originally wanted to do the sailboat option, which we looked into, and we went around and we learned how to sail and stuff, which was great and a lot of fun. But it wasn't
very realistic for us.
Yes, for us, just in general, as far as like buying a sailboat and just going out there and living off that, it wasn't really going to work out. So we wanted something that we could actually, do and just be a little bit more practical. Great idea. We're still going to do it eventually, but further on down the line, when we're a little bit more successful and established, to just be realistic about it.
Where we can just quit our jobs and sail around the world. We don't have to worry about making an income while we are sailing around the world.
Exactly. So being in a position where we want to make money, and continue to make a living and everything, what we've decided to do is we're going to put our house up for sale again, and as soon as we sell it, we're going to buy an RV that we're actually going to move into and live out of. There's a lot of options. You can live out of vans and all that stuff, VW buses, but I think we're going to do the RV route just because it's a little bit bigger. We still have our dogs, obviously. We want to be able to tow this rig and still have another rig, so we are going to have 2 vehicles still, so we can drive to our job. We're still going to have a job, whether we're able to make it so we have a commuter job or have an actual job that's located somewhere. We'll see how that works out, but for now, I'm going to stick with the company that I'm at and try and see if I can transfer to one side of these states or another and kind of go from there. So
we're hopefully looking at the northwest coast.
Yeah, that or if something like North Carolina turns up, that'll be a great option also. So either way, but yes, as she mentioned, we're looking at the northwest coast. So our thinking is we'll get the RV and we'll be able to not only live out of that for a lot less than we can for a house, and kind of minimize things and just make life a little bit simpler. I feel like once you make it too extravagant, you start spending money in places you don't need to, and you kind of lose touch with the basis and everything. So
it's like you need to step back and actually evaluate what's important and what you really want in life.
Yeah. So we're excited about that part, and what our plan to do is live in that for a couple of years and just kind of enjoy being able to travel and just being able to work out of that, and then buy some land, park that on our property, and then build a house from there. Something that suits us, not something that we feel like we need. This was our first house purchase, so we learned a lot from it and learned how basically it functions and what actually we needed from a house. And so I think that makes sense for a lot of people. So
I think we learned what we really don't want.
Yeah, so really excited about that, and we're looking forward to shopping today and learning about RVs and how it actually works, how the costs, the different sizes, and getting a feel for what we want. We're doing this a little preemptively also because we want to give ourselves some time to figure out what style and what we want to purchase before we actually do it.
We don't want to just buy something and then a year down the road or even 6 months we're like, crap, that was a horrible purchase.
Which can happen, because I've heard a lot of people buy within like the first 4 years of RVs. It's common to own like 3 different ones or something like that. But anyways, we're going to try and minimize that as much as we can. And so we're excited about it. So we're headed out to RV Place today for the first time. We've looked online a bit, and we're going to go check them out. So there you go.
I'm excited.
We're going to eat some chicken minis and enjoy ourselves. I hope everyone has been having a great time. I don't know when we're going to post this, but enjoy.
Someone can watch his favorite shows.
There's a queen right behind you. I think that's a queen behind you. So, if you wanted people to stay, then you got the fold down bunk above top too.
Well, let's be honest, that's where he's gonna sleep every night.
It's true.
Then you can walk around the bed, I guess. A little bit of room back there. Give you a full closet, another TV.
Space.
Here's the back.
Out to another chair, so you actually have.
It's a sectional.
Sectional.
There's a sectional. I do like the colors better. It was more of the gray now. Oh, and there's
So.
I think it's just cool to have it there. You know, it's kind of like, yeah, it creates that ambiance, and like, say you're out in the mountains, or say you're something, you know, you got the views right outside. Alright, so that's the one Shay likes, and then this is the one that I like, the 35F.
Usually 60 gallons on fresh water and 40 to 50 gallons on your gray and your black.
So it sounds like the Class A would be our better option, especially since we're going to be traveling in primitive camping a lot.
I wouldn't say that would be the main reason, because I mean, if you...
Hey guys!
We're back. It is still the same day. We've just been at the motorhome place.
I'm supposed to be doing the talking.
Okay.
I say hi, you say hi, then I talk. Okay, so we finished up at the motorhome place today that we visited. It's still the same day, August 5th, 2017. We did kind of get a better idea of what we are actually looking for in an RV. We're really interested in a Winnebago, but we can't really decide on a floor plan that we both agree on. So
yeah, we'll have to see. Right now we've narrowed it down to what we think. We want to go with the Class A, which was the big windshield ones. We looked at the Class C's, which is the ones where it has the little cab over. And I think it may, I don't know, we'll see if that still becomes a possibility, but we think we've narrowed it down to basically a Class A in the 31 to 35 foot range. I think that's kind of our parameters.
The Class C was just too small because we will have 3 dogs with us, one of them being almost 100 pounds.
You know.
You know. So, we got to keep it realistic. We would prefer something a little bit smaller. We're trying to minimalize and make our lives a little bit simpler, but for the sake of our dogs, they need space.
Yeah, it's still going to be a big jump to go to an RV from a home, but we have so much of our home that we're not even using, and we wanted to get a smaller home anyways, so this is kind of a huge push. But the biggest thing we're trying to push this for is just financially. We're looking to save a lot of money and be able to make ourselves more mobile to be able to go on more adventures, which will also bring better content for this channel. Everyone loves a family who lives in an RV.
Yeah, we're really excited. We're looking everywhere, not just in Texas. We're going to try to find the best deal that we can. We're also looking at all of our options, you know, a fifth wheel or a pool behind. We're just trying to figure out what will be best for us. And right now we think the Class A is what's going to be best for us. You know, a few months from now we might completely change our minds, but if we get a fifth wheel or a pool behind, I don't know what they're technically called.
I think that's right, yeah.
We're going to have to get a truck to pull it, and that's just a little bit more money than we wanted to spend. We can get into a Class A for a really good price versus getting a whole new truck and then a fifth wheel, which is pretty pricey. It just might not be worth it.
Yeah, I personally don't like the fifth wheels. I think they're bulky, they're bigger, and I don't like the idea of how they hook up, and I've heard too many issues with them. They may be great, and I just don't like the resale on them. I think it's not as great. I think, in my personal opinion, it would either be between an Airstream pull behind or an RV that we actually drive. So that's my opinion.
We've done some research on the Airstreams, but they're just a little more pricey. They're great, and the resale on them, they hold their value, and they're really nice. They have a lot of windows. It's very open. But they're very expensive, and again, we're going to have to buy something to pull it with.
Yeah, see, that's the biggest issue, buying a specific dedicated vehicle. I mean, we already bought the 17 4Runner for overlanding, to take on places to live out of and stuff like that.
We are keeping the 4Runner. Yeah. That's not going anywhere.
Yeah, not to live out of, but to be able to venture out of, and that's the plan. So we'll RV up somewhere and still be able to go different places from it and have it as our traveling vehicle. So to have to go buy another diesel truck, that would basically mean that we have the 4Runner, which she would drive, and then the other person would drive the diesel to pull the RV or the Airstream.
Right.
While, I mean, that may be great, but that makes us having to buy 2 new purchases also, so it's kind of like...
And then he would have to drive that daily to his job.
Yeah, then we end up with a diesel truck that, you know, at least if we got another Jeep, we could go rock crawling with that or something, you know, we could do some... So if we had a 4Runner and a Jeep, for example, they would have 2 purposes that we could do anything with, versus a 4Runner and a diesel truck. You know, we're basically pretty limited at that point.
The only thing I really...
JL and a 4Runner sounds like a good gig to me.
Oh my gosh. The only thing I really liked about that fifth wheel was that we saw one, he showed us one that had like a mini garage, which was...
Yeah, the toy haulers.
Really cool.
It's great. It's a great concept. It still feels really cheap to me, though, the interior. So I am a huge fan of the... I think it's just a watch or something.
I was trying to figure
I'm a huge fan of the Airstreams for resale, the collectible value, and they're built really well. And even if we bought a used one, that would be really cool. So it's either that or the Class A, and right now we're looking at Winnebago just because they're a reputable brand. If we do some more research, we find some other good brands, we may look at them. But there's certain things that we're very stickler with brands on. It's usually a big purchase. If it's smaller stuff, no, we're not really, you know, we're not brand people. We don't have to have this and this. But if it's a big purchase, then we like to stick with something reputable, just because we want something that's going to hold its value and just be quality. Because you're spending a lot of money. So
holding value is really the thing. You don't want to. I mean, there were pull behinds at the place for like $15,000 that we could have been okay with, but.
Yeah, but then, like, what's it worth as soon as you leave? Like $5,000, and plus the quality of it. How good's the quality? So fit and finish is really big, and just the quality of it overall. So we'll see what happens. This was day 1 of looking. I get super invested in this sort of thing, so basically between now and when we buy it, I'm literally nonstop going to be doing research, watching videos, reading everything I can, getting in as many as I can, until we can do it, because we're so super pumped about it. I mean, there's a lot of stuff we get excited about, but this is going to be huge in so many ways for us that we're really excited about it. So we'll keep you posted. A lot of freedom.
Yeah. That's basically what it's going to provide for us.
Yep.
And we really wanted to go with the diesel, but the diesels are like $50,000
Yeah,
more.
it's like a huge gap between the gas and diesel. It's
Yeah.
almost like $50,000, $80,000 more. So unless we went into used market, which is fine.
Yeah,
But
it doesn't have to be brand new.
we're gonna. I mean, it's a whole nother world. We have to look into how they get financed. We have to look into how, you know, the quality of them, maintenance. You know, who's owned them. Luckily with RVs, most people either don't use them or they use them all the time. So you either have someone who didn't use it and it's just been in mint condition for a long time and it's older and it's super mint, or you have something that's been beat up and used. So it's kind of, you just kind of have, it's like buying an old Corvette. You know, same thing. People drive them or people don't drive them. So that's kind of where it's at. So we'll see what happens. This is day one.
This is day one, and I think we have about a year.
We'll
Max
see.
timeline.
We're hopefully gonna put this up for sale in the next couple months, and we'll see how long it takes to sell it.
Basically, as soon as it sells is when
Yeah, we're gonna
we'll really get serious about buying one. Right now, we're just doing research and looking and.
So that's kind of our timeline. Also, we don't know how long it'll take to sell our house, but at least this time versus when we were moving to Colorado. When we moved to
have more
Colorado, it was
time.
like, all right, we have to sell it in like 2 months.
Yeah.
Now we're gonna put this up for sale, sell it on our own terms, and then when it sells, we're moving into an RV. So there you go.
I'm ready. I'm excited.
Yeah,
This is gonna be great.
If we could do it in a month, we'd do it as soon as
I
possible.
can do it
at this
tomorrow.
point.
Done.
Yeah,
I'm gonna sell everything in my house.
We're ready to sell this and move on to the next step. So it's been really good to us, but being our first house, I think we didn't know exactly what to do, so we just bought. This is how it works. You live and you learn. So
It's just too big for us. Like you said, we use the kitchen, living room, and our bedroom.
yeah,
That's it.
and we may buy this RV and be like, okay, 35 feet is too big or too small or whatever. So it's gonna be a live and learn from that too. But
Dude, we saw an RV today, a Class A, with a fireplace in it.
yeah, it's pretty
In
standard,
a
I guess.
full-size refrigerator.
That may be the one we get. Who knows?
That's the one he wants. It's black and gray.
Yeah, I really like the exteriors.
It's pretty.
All right, so there you go. We'll see how this turns out.
We'll see how this turns out. We're the same person. It's not a big deal.
All right, see you guys later.